Hi, Abhinav. How are you?
Oh, good. How about you?
Good. So, we're going to talk about writing a little bit today, yours especially, right? So,
Mhm.
you've been writing a few stories, and the last one that I saw that you wrote was the one that was in the magazine, the summer
Yeah,
magazine. Like, I think it was called CDM, something like that. Do
yeah,
you
yeah.
remember? Okay. So I know that you typically, when you've been writing for, the times that you've been writing a few times, right? For City Kids World, you've been writing maybe fiction.
Yeah.
So I guess I just kind of ask you some questions to kind of help our viewers learn more about writing from a kid's point of view, right? So like, how do you come up with ideas when it's time for you to, write a story and you want to get something exciting and you know other people are going to read it? Like, how do you come up with ideas?
I just get inspired from things I watch and stuff, and
Oh,
like things I read.
okay, so you take inspiration from other stories?
But
Uh,
not stories, like just like things I watched and stuff.
well, television shows that are basically stories and books that are somebody else. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
inspiration. Okay, like so the one that you wrote, CDM. What is that one about? I was just
Um,
reading. Hello.
it's basically like about this kid that like he like got into like an organization where like they try to contain monsters and stuff.
Mhm.
And like he basically kind of gets like a warning from one of the monsters about like danger.
Okay, that was the problem. That was kind of like the problem. What kind of adventure did he end up having? How
Um,
did he get, did something happen?
I mean, yeah, there's gonna be like there was like an outbreak kind of.
Okay. So this kind of sounds like partially like the zombie apocalypse and maybe Stranger Things all mixed in together. So that kind of a thing. Like, is that what you mean by you get inspiration from things that are like out there that people
Um,
can relate to?
not no, not really. It was more like an SCP kind of thing,
Like a what?
like SCP. I don't think you've ever heard of it.
Is that like a video game?
No, uh, I mean, I think it is. Yeah, like
Yeah. So maybe video game stories too can serve as inspiration.
yeah. It's not-
Okay, combination. Okay, so like, what would you say is the hardest thing about trying to put a story together? Well, let me just then out since it's hard to come up with it. Um, how do you feel about like the punctuation and grammar part of writing?
Uh, like how hard it is?
Yeah, like do you find that challenging at all? Do you find like has any difficulty at all
No,
in the
I
writing?
think I think I do that pretty well. Like,
Okay, so that's
yeah, I
not a
don't think,
challenge.
yeah, I don't make that
So,
many.
right, that's good. I do know that when people write stories, though, even if they're good at grammar and punctuation, there's always the proofreading part. So, like, what's
Yeah.
your process with proofreading?
I mean, I just usually just check over my story, like just read it.
And do you ever find yourself having to rewrite a lot, or do you usually just find little errors?
Yeah, just little errors. Maybe like it doesn't flow properly or some grammatical error.
hmm So besides grammar and punctuation, is there anything else that you would call like challenging when it comes to putting a story together?
Maybe just like making it flow, kind of like making it like make sense.
hmm So you want to make sure that there's no like holes in the plot, like there's no like plot
Yeah,
holes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's important. Have you ever like been writing and you found that you left a big plot hole or someone brought it to your attention?
Well, nothing really big, but like just like some small stuff.
Little stuff. Okay. So you're like, what is your best subject in school actually?
Like math.
And what grade are you in?
I'm going to eighth.
Okay. So do you see yourself as eventually becoming like a person in STEM or more like in a creative like side where you'd write and do things like that? Which one do you think you're going toward?
Yeah, I don't think I'm actually gonna write like
Right. So since you're going to end up being in STEM somewhere, some way or another, like what would you tell kids is the value of writing, even though they're maybe going to be a doctor or an engineer or something like that? Like, tell, like, why does writing have any value?
I mean, like a lot of things in college require like writing and stuff, like just like making it like it flow, like in school too, and like I think like making it flow and like having good grammar is like a really important part of your grades.
Okay, so what I'm getting from you is that even if one day you're not going to be a writer, you have to get through so much writing that you should not neglect your writing. Like your
Yeah,
grade will be affected by if you can write. Maybe I don't know if you thought of this yet, the SAT maybe something like that.
yeah,
Of course, you have to take the SAT even if you want to be a doctor or an engineer or a scientist, right? So you have to get a good score in the English part. The writing helps. Um, so I know that you practice a lot of your writing and you put a lot of effort into it. Like, what is your favorite part of, even though writing's not going to be your life, what is your favorite part of writing, right? Like right now?
um, I think it's just like seeing the final result.
Okay.
Just like that. Yeah.
Do you like it when people read your story?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Does anybody ever told you that they thought your story was good or interesting?
Uh, yeah, my parents and stuff.
Just your parents? Not a friend?
No, my friends don't read my stories.
You're being modest. We're gonna have to find your friends and give them a copy of it, right? Would that embarrass you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know your friends have seen it. You just don't want to admit it. Okay, so the best thing about it is just you say like if someone the best thing about your writing a story is you said what's the best thing?
Just like seeing the final result and like being proud of my work.
So accomplishing something, having an
Yeah.
like anything. Like if you make a cake, you accomplished it. If you write a story, you accomplished it.
Yeah.
If you ride 10 miles, you accomplished it. It's a good accomplishment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could give kids advice right now about like, okay, you're in middle school and you have to write, if there is some advice you could give them as a semi-professional writer yourself, right? A published author, what advice would you give kids these days for writing?
Uh, I think just like make sure you do something like that flows.
Mhm. In terms of a story?
Yeah.
Is there anything you would tell them in general about their approach to writing, like the assignments for school or just, how they should think of writing nowadays in these modern times with so many things out there that could affect their writing? What would you advise them to do? What are some things that are affecting you guys in your young generation? You guys have like the Google where it tells you if you made a mistake and a lot of the writing's on computer and there's other things that
Yeah.
you can do on computer, Grammarly. What would you tell kids that their approach should be to using those tools?
Well, you you shouldn't use them that much because they're like dishonest and like they don't help you as a writer.
Really? How do they not help? Like,
I mean, I mean, like it'd probably help you more if you did it yourself. Yeah, if you checked your stuff yourself and maybe just like you use it to just like check over your work.
mhm. But you can't use it to write it for you and all that kind of
No,
stuff.
no, it's
Do you
not.
think people do that? Do you think kids do that sometimes or no?
Maybe sometimes, not really though.
Oh, hopefully not, because it doesn't help, right?
Yeah,
Right. So, but what advice would you give them? Basically, you'd say, don't use those things to write.
yeah,
Um, after you did your own writing, you could ask it to read it for you if you
Yeah.
don't have to read it for you, because it knows if there's mistakes, but you can't let it help you avoid the mistakes.
Yeah.
You have to make the mistake so it could tell you it's wrong, and then you learn from that, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at the end of this video, we're going to have a picture of your story so everybody can read your story. And maybe you'll hear it'll come back to you how wonderful your story was, right? So, thank you though for the interview,
Yeah.
and have a good rest of your day.
Yeah. Thank you.